Hello and welcome to Grossly Competent, the learning, development, and adulting podcast that does not claim to be pretty. Ooh, no, but we will happily pretend to be slightly competent. I'm your host, Steve Council, and I'm joined by my co-host, a man whose confidence far outkicks his looks, Mr. Patrick Ailshire.
Well, thank you, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, I have noticed that your brain is basically 12 browser tabs open, and one of them is playing music.
That's actually not that far-fetched from what my browsers looked like just today, as a matter of fact. So right you are, Mr. Patrick. Folks, let's just cut to the chase here, guys. We have an incredible episode lined up for all of your auditory senses. But first, Mr. Patrick, listeners demand to know who is our sponsor of the week.
This show is brought to you by walking into a room and forgetting why. Your brain had a plan. Your body arrived too early. Walking into a room and forgetting why. Buffering in real life.
Story of my life. Big walking into a room and forgetting why. Thank you. Thank you so much for being such an amazing sponsor. Your check is also buffering in real life. So just, hold out hope. We'll see if that comes your way eventually.
And listeners, as if you are new to the podcast, just a quick refresher. Majority of podcasts that do have sponsors the sponsors are paying in for that advertising.
Yeah.
How it works at Grossly Competent is we actually have to pay our sponsors to come on the show. So it's one of those things.
I blame it on our faces.
Yeah, that's mostly true. True. Steve, you said it just a minute ago, but I am fairly super pumped, excited because we've got a spectacular episode lined up, as you said. Listeners, Steve and I once again have an opportunity to pretty up the joint. No thanks to either of our ugly mugs. No, in fact, we've got ourselves a guest appearance yet again.
Hailing from the greatest city in the world, a 5-time U4 Coaching Academy graduate, including mindset coaching, alcohol-free life coach, success coach, NLP practitioner, and hypnosis practitioner. Wow, really? She is a mom, wife, and public speaker.
In addition, she hosts a podcast called The Sober New Yorker, has taken up dance, and most recently hosted a sober retreat with another rock star sober influencer, also based out of New York City. Without further ado, I'd love to welcome our next guest, Melissa McGovern.
Oh, wow. Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here. I'm really disappointed that you don't record the video version because I really feel like I could give you a boost in that department.
Yes, we are. We tried to do video, and Apple, Amazon, Spotify, you name it. We're like,
yeah, not good enough. You have a face for radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Very well said.
It's not the first time I've heard that, and it's certainly not the last.
I've always loved that phrase. Kids, I remember my kids are older now, but saying stuff like that around kids, and it's just like, what does she mean? Face for radio. It's a good joke. It's a good joke.
Usually when I look at my kids, they just start crying. And I was trying to really figure that one out.
Give them a few years.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen I don't have kids, but have you seen a dog cry? It happens.
I've seen a dog with really sad eyes. Yeah, I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure it does because dogs are spoiled little brats. If they don't get what they want, they cry. I'm sure.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Patrick, are you off to the side on those commercials that Sarah McLachlan's always in? Like, I always try to figure out how they get those like perfectly executed almost tears for like
AI.
some of those dogs.
Yeah. AI
the
probably.
Arms of the angels.
I can't watch those. Those are so sad.
They really are. You're not kidding. Yeah.
Great marketing, but
yeah.
gosh.
It's great to be here with you guys. This should be fun. Looking forward to it.
Whoa. Tamper your expectations here. All right.
Okay. Let's not get ahead of myself.
Well, we were talking about this before we hit record, and I was telling Melissa that I'm really excited. Folks, when Patrick had told me that Melissa would be interested in being on the show, I was like, I'd heard really great things from Patrick, and I made it a conscious effort to go, okay, I'm going to look up nothing because I like to be prepared. So I thought it'd be fun to learn and experience everything along with you. So with that, I'm going to ask you the most generic question on the planet. So you take it as you see fit. And that is, tell us about yourself. Like, just what...
It's so generic.
Tell us I know it is, but like, just, what, tell us a little bit, like, what's your elevator pitch, if you will? Like, what is it? What makes you you?
Well, at least you didn't ask, what do you do? That's such an American, really, like, it's so American, that question. So what do you do? And I found the greatest response to that, whatever it takes.
Oh, wow.
Whatever it takes.
Wow.
Exactly.
I've used that in an interview and it didn't go well.
Yeah. Well,
oddly, I said the bare minimum. Like, whatever I can skate by with. And they're like, this guy is management material. Like, this guy, woo.
But like, a better question is, what do you do for fun? What sparks joy in your life? What lights you up? I like that. But so for me, but in general, I am a mom, a wife, a New Yorker, a coach, a retreat host, a podcaster, a speaker. Yeah. I'm all these things, and so many parts of my life are joyful right now.
That's awesome. I actually note, as I was reading your intro, which, full disclosure, Mr. Patrick was so gracious because I didn't want to learn anything prior. He's the one that wrote my bit. Okay, so when I stopped and went, really? That was genuine. That was genuine.
I could tell.
I'm curious, and I'm probably getting ahead, Patrick, so forgive me. My curiosity cannot be quelled. I'm curious about some of these accolades here. Like, the one that drew me out was the hypnosis practitioner.
Right.
What led you down that path?
So it's a little deceiving. I mean, the coaching certification that I did was a 5-module, and that was one of the modules. Oh, and wow. We can't say, we have to say practitioner and not, what's the other word? Like therapist or that's not it. But it's basically, and I have not practiced it on any clients, FYI. I am more mindset, success, alcohol free. NLP, it deals with your brain constantly changing, neuro-linguistic programming. But the hypnotic one is really just about putting people into a comforting, deep relaxation place in their life or in a session. And I think I could do that at some point. I would love to explore that because I do have a voice that tends to be that way. And, but it's not like I'm not dangling, a pendulum in front of someone, right? Like in middle school. Kind of hoping. I remember in middle school, in Sheboygan Falls. Can you hear me? Did that go on? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
In Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin, they brought in a guy like that, a hypnotic magician. And, he had people like barking like dogs on the stage, and it was total bullshit. It was complete bullshit.
What?
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks, for the first time ever. Debunked.
I did not believe it. And, it gave those fools that needed that. I was not on stage. I'm pretty sure I was not on stage for that. But, some of those kids that want to go up on stage and do that and then act like a clown or a dog in this case. And then, be known for that the rest of the day or week or year. So no, it's not like that. It's really more of a, let's get comfortable and let me walk you somewhere. And yeah, but I'm
really cool.
It's not really part of my practice yet.
That's totally get that. I understand that. I feel like it interrupted. I just, that one drew me out. I couldn't help myself. I had to ask.
But then I have friends that are, have quit smoking because of something like that. It's a real thing. And, so oftentimes it's like, can you quit drinking? Can I put you in a deep hypnotic state and tell you how much alcohol sucks for you? I mean, I probably could, but I don't have any money back guarantees.
Well, then, you know what?
It's going to take a lot more than that. Let's just say that. Yeah. You
raised a really interesting point earlier about how he gave you such a broad question, right? And maybe because we're talking about your coaching background, would you mind kind of walking me through that? Just like what got you into that? What was the interest level, and what was the tipping point, perhaps, of what led you down that path?
Sure. Well, I was always the woman, the person, the friend that people would call when they needed advice. Always. I mean, I have been in the labor delivery room, seeing both of my nieces born because my sister-in-law was freaking out. And, I'm the calm one to come in and, I'm just that person. I've always been that person. But when I was still drinking, it was kind of a sham for me inside because I was not taking care of myself. I was not giving my own advice. So once I removed the alcohol from my life, I thought, holy shit, like I can now take this to the next level. And I really felt a pull to help people, coach them into this life for themselves. And so about 2 months after I quit drinking, I found this certification program and I signed up and I just kind of went for it. And I've been coaching for about 1.5 years and I'm very successful with it. So it's really, it's a great job. And I, it's hard. It's a hard job getting, people. It's not easy always for, it's not a straight line. It's it's non-linear. So, but it really fulfills me. And it's when you see people succeed and you know that you have been a part of that, it's pretty incredible.
What's really fascinating about that, Melissa, is that you made a pretty quick pivot. You stopped drinking, and within a couple of months, you were like, I'm going for it. I mean, I think that and something I've noticed in my own sobriety of having these ideas just start to come to you. And while I may have waited a little over 1 year to start my own business, it's still, I think fairly quickly, it was starting to kind of come around in my mind, at some point, and I didn't want to hold back. I wanted just to kind of go after it. So it's really, really cool that you were able to have this idea in mind and just go right after it.
Yeah, I had the idea earlier. I had the idea in the pandemic when I was alcohol-free before the pandemic. I was alcohol-free for about 4 months, and something popped up on my radar about coaching. And I remember because it was early March 2020, and I met with this guy on Zoom. I was like, what is Zoom? What the hell is Zoom? No, and I said to my husband, it's like Skype. No, not quite. So that was my first Zoom meeting with this alcohol-free coach with This Naked Mind was the coaching program. And, I met with this guy and I wasn't as rooted in my decision to do this yet. So I have a really strong gut, and I ended up not committing to the program. And then the pandemic happened like literally a week later. And I was kind of glad I didn't because then I started drinking again. Shocking news in the pandemic. So it was always kind of there in the back of my head. So this last time, it'll be 3 years this summer when it happened. I was listening to a podcast, and that coaching thing came up again. Someone was referring to this program, and I thought, I think I can do this thing. So it was marinating in there for a little while, but yeah.
So what's a day in the life? So your coaching business, correct me if I'm wrong, is the Sober New Yorker.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And so what's a day in the life like? I mean, you were meeting with people virtually. Do you have people in person? How does that? What's your typical day like?
For the most part, it is virtually on Zoom. I do have a handful of New York clients, but people are so used to Zoom.
Yeah.
If they're working from home, they can turn on their camera and do it right there. So I just signed a brand new New York client, and I've told her, I'm hoping we can have some sessions in person, because that would ultimately be incredible, because I love how I can get through to someone on Zoom, but in person, forget about it.
Right. Steve and I say that all the time with training. When we're facilitating a training, virtual training, we can do it. It's okay. Yeah. But when you're in a room full of people, you can feel the energy. I feel like there's just even more of a buy-in at times when you have that in-person conversation.
Absolutely. And I'm one of these people that loves in-person experiences. And I just, I feed off of it. I'm an extrovert, and I get energy from being in person with people. So I'm hoping that more of that is in my future. Definitely.
You took the words right out of my mouth, actually, of the energy that is in a room, that you do not get that with Zoom. Not to say that there's anything wrong with Riverside FM and their podcasting capabilities. My goodness. But you are right. Like, there really is something special about being able to interact physically in the same space. There's almost a guarding with that digital sense, like that. It's kind of like when you're watching something that you recorded live. It doesn't have the same feel as when you were present.
Absolutely.
So I completely get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to come up with the Sober New Yorker? So
it's a great story. I was about 5 months alcohol free. It was January of 24. It was very early in the morning, very cold in New York. I was on my way to, my daughter was competing in a indoor track meet that day in Staten Island. She was a runner in college, D1 runner. And I had been thinking about, I had all these different names, and I just typed it in to Instagram. It seemed to be available. And so I kind of started a little bio, like I put my picture there, but I don't know if I had a bio or anything. And I was like, I'll just deal with this later. A couple hours later, a friend texted me and she said, "Is this you?" Because what I didn't realize is that you can't just start what's it called?
A profile?
Yeah, a profile, and then leave it there. Because it will go to the people, I had a personal Instagram, right? So it will go to people as people you may know.
Yep.
And she texted me and she took a screenshot, and I was like, oh shit. I said, yep, that's me. I started it and I haven't finished it. And I told her how, I'm almost 5 months alcohol free, blah, blah, blah. And she ironically knew about my journey beforehand and had kind of like been a supporter of mine. And so it was kismet in that way. And I said, do you want to be my first follower? And she was my first follower. Then it popped up. We were at the track meet. We were in the car, and my son, who was like 16 at the time, he's checking his phone. He's like, "Mom, is this you?"
You don't need to connect with me. We're good. We're all right. We're good. No.
But just his face, the sober New Yorker, and the eye roll you could feel, like,
of course,
yeah, all the way down to Staten Island. but that's how it started, you know.
Don't be cringe, Mom.
Oh yeah, I'm super cringe. I mean, forget about it. They had no idea what was coming. I mean, the cringe factor, is definitely high as far as, my kids go. But it was a handle that was available, and I just, because for me, I was like, should it be alcohol free? Should it be sober? Sometimes when we remove alcohol, we get stuck in those labels. Like sober means you really had a big fucking problem, and what are people going to think of me? And so when people ask that, I'm like, it's available, and it sounded good. The sober New Yorker sounds a lot better than the alcohol free New Yorker,
Yes, agree.
So I just went with it. Yeah.
I love that. Sometimes I'm a firm believer of this. Sometimes I feel like that your life and the universe, whatever you want to refer to it as, just has a way of pointing you in a specific direction. We've talked about that. Patrick and I have talked about this before, that you have to be open for opportunity in order for opportunity to be open to you. And it sounds like you kind of saw that and went, hell yeah, let's do this. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
Let's do it. And then the domain was available, and the podcast was available, and it's just and I'm actually in trademark. I'm in the process of trademarking it. So that's pretty exciting.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's super cool. That's
Thank
awesome. You. So podcast, you just mentioned it. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Like what got you started with that? I mean, I assume it was kind of an offshoot part of your journey with Instagram and just trying to build a following. Like, what was it?
For me, it was always something in the back of my head that I thought, because for podcasts, for me, sober podcasts were one of the first things that I listened to get through each day trying not to drink. And it's a very, that and sober Instagram, sober podcast, sober Instagram, people dial into, and it really helps to hear other stories that you can relate to. It shows you're not alone, that you don't have it all figured out, and neither do a lot of other people. And then they get there, So, and I have always really loved to talk to people. I've always really loved an interview type situation. I'm very curious about people. And a mentor of mine, Brad McLeod over at Sober Motivation Podcast, was doing a boot camp, like a 4-week boot camp. And I said, I want in. I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I talk about universe. I took that as a sign, because I wasn't going to learn something like that on my own, but I did this 4-week class. There were 8 of us, maybe, and I am the only one doing a podcast.
Oh, cool.
There were 2 other women that started, but they haven't left off. And you guys know podcasting is a patient, long-term thing. If you really want to get people to listen, you just have to stay consistent. That you don't have to beat out your competitor. You just have to be consistent and kind of beat out yourself. So I'm almost up to 100 episodes. It'll be 2 years in June.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And now it's leading to clients. It's leading to,
that's awesome.
people that want to come on my retreats. It's like, but you have to be patient with it. You really do. And if you do it as a labor of love, like I did, although I should get some sponsors like you have, that's,
Whoa. We handcraft each and every, and by we, I mean, Patrick handcrafts.
It's great. I love it. And
you have to have fun with it. I mean, the fact that, like, okay, in that day will come at some point where we will have actual sponsors. However,
until then, I love what you're doing. I think it's really hilarious. And I'm a big fan of that sponsor that you mentioned at the top. It happens to me all the time, walking into a room and not knowing why I'm there. Yeah. And I'm older than you guys. Just wait. It just gets better. Trust me. Yeah.
We have some pretty interesting sponsors that come on. We had the one a couple weeks ago about what was it? Standing over the sink eating cheese.
Yeah, it was something to do with the Sunday night scaries. Like, is it Sunday night already?
Oh my
yes.
God. That's hilarious.
Patrick, I had a friend of mine reach out and say, like, that one really resonated with me. Like, it's funny. I will get people to reach out and tell me, like, it's that advertisement, right? Oh, that one really struck a nerve. That one.
And last week's was a good one. It was 2 a.m. thoughts, laying in bed.
Mm-hmm.
2 a.m. thoughts. Yeah.
Why did I say that?
Yes.
10 years ago, 10 minutes ago.
Right. Random things that wake you up and make you think. Yeah.
And they always play back in like 4K resolution, right? Like, what? Come on. No. Is that Dolby? Like,
my God. Yeah.
That's
hilarious.
I can't help when I'm hearing you talk about all these different things. I really just love that what you say and what you're saying right now, people are going to be like, oh my God, Steve, get off your soapbox. But it's so genuine and I appreciate it. Like, I love that you're like, it was available and I just kind of went with it. Like, I love that it's just authentically you. So I know we're only midway through, maybe, but I just really wanted to make it a point to say, I really appreciate that. So thank you. I really do.
Listen, you're welcome. First of all, I don't know if that's an indication of what the other guests are on your show.
Oh, no, we usually make fun of LinkedIn people and just we talk about this.
Yeah.
This
I
need.
I am on LinkedIn, but not
Sure.
really. I don't really do much on it.
Yeah, we really talk mostly about this authenticity in professionalism of just, it's okay if you don't know everything. You got to sometimes pump the brakes and just say, I need help. So with that, I always make it a point that I like to call that out when I see it. So
thank you. I appreciate that. I get that a lot from the people that I coach with. And, they say, I've heard you on the podcast and now you're here in Zoom life and you're exactly the same. Like, well, yeah. I always say, I don't know what else I would be, but I get it. I get how people can take on errors and be pretentious. And, honestly, like, I think that has a lot to do with how I was raised. And I think that has a lot to do with being raised in Wisconsin. I really do. Yeah. I really do.
Shout out for Wisco.
I mean, because they're just really good people for the most part. And, being raised in a family that wanted me and gave me values and, supported me, like, you're winning the lottery if you've got that. And if you can then make it part of your identity and put it out into the world as well, it's like, I
share those gifts.
Yeah.
Share them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
So true.
Yeah.
So, Melissa, how has sobriety allowed you to grow, not only personally, but professionally?
Well, I've got my own business. In fact, Rachel and I, you mentioned her a little bit at the top of the hour. We've got a retreat business that we're getting an LLC for. I mean, awesome. Here's the thing, like, if you, for my case, and Patrick as well. Patrick has been on my podcast. It was amazing. We recorded it and I was like, I got to put this out right away. No cue for you, buddy. You're going to the front of the line.
Nice.
But you move this one thing out of your life that was taking up so much space. And I'm not talking about just drinking, but thinking about drinking, recovering from drinking. Oh my God. Recovering from drinking can last days, weeks. So once you move that out, you open yourself up to so many more opportunities. And who knows what those are going to be. Honestly, 2 years ago, I had this idea to do a New York City retreat, and we just finished our first one a few weeks ago and knocked it out of the park. I didn't know that even was a thing when I first got sober, that you could go on a retreat with other badass women and rocket, especially in a city like New York that, people love to come here and drink. I mean, so it's just professionally opened up. I feel, my kids used to ask me because I was a stay-at-home mom for most of my kids' lives. And my son used to ask me, Mom, what are you going to do when you grow up? And I remember thinking, well, I am pretty damn grown, but, it was just his way of thinking like, is this all you do, that you're a mom? And of course I would tell him that and remind him it was the hardest job in the world.
Oh, of course.
But now, I mean, my husband, it's interesting, like he's approaching 60. Retirement is on his mind, but I'm just getting started. I'm literally just getting started. I don't even think about ending what I am doing. I just think about growing it. And that wasn't there before. That just wasn't there while I was drinking.
That's a great answer. I really like what you said, because I've also said similarly to other people, when just in conversation, not a hey, you need to stop drinking, of asking, when they were asking me about, well, what's it like not drinking, and talking about the time that I've gotten back. It's not just the 3-4 hours sitting at a bar when I could be doing something else. It's the thinking about going out. Do I want to go out? Maybe I shouldn't. Should I drink this weekend? Maybe not. Maybe tomorrow. And then the recovery part too. It's just those minutes, those hours add up.
Yeah.
And it's giving me so much. I mean, let's just say my business wasn't on zero proof pass, right? It wasn't about a passport that gives any drink specials. There's no way I would have come up with another business if I hadn't stopped drinking. I wouldn't have the bandwidth. I wouldn't have the time, because for me personally, I'd be so focused on going out that weekend or doing this and recovering. And
right. And a lot of people are like that, and I'm not here to judge, but I just know that, and I've seen it in my husband too. I mean, he was not as big of a drinker as I was, but he drank, and he stopped when I did. He stopped a little while after I did. And his growth, personally, professionally, has just been exponential, and he feels so good. And he's, 59 going on 40. Well, it's not that kind of podcast. We'll save that for another time.
No. Actually, please, like we can just.
That's a different sponsor.
We are an adulting podcast too, and we'll take the listens. It's okay. We're already listed as explicit on Apple Podcasts, so it's okay.
Oh, you guys are funny. Anyway, it's it's all good. It's all good. It's once you've had a glimpse of it on the other side, you can't even believe, that it was going on for as long as it was. You don't beat yourself up about it. You're doing the best you could, but no one ever wakes up in the morning and says, damn, I wish I would have drank last night. They just don't.
So true.
Or I'm so glad I had those shots.
Right. Yeah. I love tequila.
And it loves me. That's why it's trying to escape. Yeah. So this actually is a weird segue, but I'm wildly curious. Okay. So I'm the only one of these three that has not taken the NA plunge yet. So
you're the one.
Yeah. I'm just glad you can't smell my breath right now. Like, whoa.
Yeah, you and me both, Steve.
Because I don't know if you know this or not, but
what are you drinking?
You can hear that. This is ice cold water. That was anticlimactic.
I thought you were going to say ice cold Miller Lite, because you are in Wisconsin.
I've got an athletic.
Yeah, I see yours, Patrick. Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'd love your recommendation. I've already received one from Patrick, and I tried it, and I highly enjoyed it. What is your go-to NA beverage of choice? Like, what would you recommend to a schmuck like me, and you're trying to say, hey, give this a whirl? Hey, Uggos. Patrick and I constantly talk about our own mishaps and pains and really just about anything about our adulting lives and workplace. But we'd love to hear your questions for us. So what have you always wanted to ask Patrick and I, but just haven't done yet?
To do this, we'll need you to reach out to us. And you can do so by going to our Instagram @grosslycompetent or send us an email, grosslycompetent@gmail.com. We'll pick through and read off our favorites in an upcoming episode.
Well, if you're out at a bar or a restaurant and you want to feel a little fancy, I usually do a club soda with a splash of grapefruit and a lime in a wine glass. Because here's the thing, guys. Just because it doesn't have alcohol in it doesn't mean it should not be in a fancy glass.
Of course.
And, and this is what I tell my clients too. And when the waiter comes around and says, what would you like to drink? Oh, I can't drink. Bullshit. You can drink. Put that Diet Coke in a wine glass if you want, So I love seltzers with a touch of fruit juice. Tart cherry juice is also really good, especially if you're having like a sweet craving. I mean, which is very common when you remove the booze. But as far as NA, I really love the brand Amethyst. They make, it's like a spirit free. Yeah. It's clear, but it's flavored. There's a blueberry ginger that is so good. It's because it has that bite. And, when you're not drinking alcohol, sweets, the juices and things, just are not appealing. They're too sweet. But if it has a bite of some kind, so I will actually have that on the rocks because that's how crazy I am. But some people have it with a little seltzer, or I've seen it on a menu. It's from South Carolina. My son is down in Charleston in school, and I've seen it at a burger joint. I love seeing a mocktail like that at a burger joint. But it's with lemonade. So it has a little bit of sweet tart, but also has that bite. Amethyst Spirits. They make like 4 different flavors. My favorite is blueberry ginger. It's delicious.
Speaking of sponsors, Amethyst, just just putting it out there, just saying.
Yeah, well, there's
awesome.
a part that's true what you said, Melissa, about wanting to kind of try to recreate the feeling of alcohol or the taste. And so when this was a few years ago, I was down, this bar is no longer open, but it was a sober bar down in Racine. And I was going there, and I was familiar with this NA bourbon brand called Kentucky 74. So it's essentially like replacing like your rum and Coke, Steve, or your Jack and Coke. So you could order that mix with like Diet Coke or whatever, or regular Coke. And the owner was there, and he said, do you want a little splash of this like liquid heat? And I was not familiar with, what do you mean? He goes, oh, well, like a lot of people come in and they want the replication of like the burn of when you're having a sip of whiskey or bourbon, and you get that little like burn. So he had this Disco Inferno, which is liquid heat, comes in those small little bottles you can get at liquor stores, and you put 1 or 2 drops in. And so when I was having this rum and Coke, I could feel that the little burn. I was like, oh my God, it feels like, the alcohol. Now, someone who maybe is in recovery or that's a little bit too much, maybe not recommend that. But for someone that, I didn't have the dependency, I just wanted to have something that tastes like alcohol without the buzz. I thought that was super cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I haven't heard of that.
No.
I just want to try it.
Yeah, right.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound awesome.
Really neat. So, Melissa, I have to ask, why is this is like such a rhtorical question because I already know.
I know you're going to ask this question.
Why is New York City the greatest city in the world?
Patrick, Steve, how much time do you have? Seriously, how long is this podcast? I loved that question on the list you gave me ahead of time. Oh my God. I mean, and I know how much you love New York because we talked about it on my podcast. Here's the thing about New York. There every kind of person you can imagine lives in New York. I'm talking race, socioeconomic, cat collector, whatever. Like every single kind of person lives in New York, and they have people there. They find their people. And yet we all, as a community, have to figure it out on a daily basis, how to live in this huge metropolis together, how to live together on the train, how to live together on the packed sidewalks, how to live together at the theater, how to live together everywhere, literally, because you never know what you're going to encounter in New York when you leave your house. You just don't. Yeah. You could have a plan, but something's going to go, sideways, most likely. And it might be really good. I mean, I've had incredible conversations with strangers. I just love it. I just have absolutely loved it since the day I got there. I always knew I wanted to live in a bigger city. I thought it was Chicago when I was 9 years old, because I didn't even know about New York. Living in Wisconsin. I'm going to Chicago. I swear to God, I wrote that in my little journal. I'm going to the Art Institute of Chicago to be an artist. I had that. I was a whole artist as a kid. And New York is just, it's electric. But it's also, it's tough. It can be really tough too. So towards the end of my drinking career, I was, escaping it. I was sitting in my living room, busting open my wine. I had my party fridge right behind me. I could practically reach around the corner and grab it, just to be shutting all of it out. And I was not taking full advantage of New York, not like I am now. And since quitting drinking, it has just been totally reborn in me, the city. And I love it more than ever, truly.
That's incredible. I like what you said too about every day is a different adventure and not knowing what you're going to expect. Because when I live in Milwaukee, so those of you that aren't familiar, Milwaukee's about an eighth of a size population wise, all right, of a Manhattan. Okay. And again, but Milwaukee also doesn't have the same amount of people as far as tourists go. Okay. You get New York, you not only have your actual people that are physically living there, but you have people visiting all day, every day,
all the time.
So going out as a New Yorker, I'm sure and you can spot who lives there and who's a tourist, and
dimed, like this. Gosh, the other night I was going to the theater, and there's lots of scaffolding on buildings, and so it makes the passageway very narrow. This family of 4 decided to stop in the passageway to check direction. And I was right behind them. And it's moments like that where you have to remind yourself, okay, that's right. They're not from New York. But literally you can like run into when they stop that suddenly. And they did have the wherewithal to realize, oh, wait, everyone come up single file.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have helped people on the subway when they all of a sudden the train goes express and they didn't know, and so I'll help them get to the next station. Just tell them go up and down and under and around. And I mean, I'm that person. If people are looking lost on a corner, I will often ask if they need help. That's the Wisconsin in me.
That's your Midwest nice, Wisconsin.
That is the Wisconsin girl in me. I mean, but yet I can be a New Yorker too, and like see some crazy person coming for me, and oh no. We haven't met in real life, Patrick. I'm like 6 feet tall, and that helps in that instance in New York.
That's amazing.
I'm from Wisconsin. I'm a farm girl. You're not going to fuck with me.
No.
Way to represent.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm doing the best I can out there.
Yes. Really, that's good to know that there are fellow Midwesterners that are representing us well.
Yeah. I mean, I also think it's important to be a New Yorker to to shed that image of rude New Yorkers, because we're not. We're, you will get really good New Yorkers that help you. Yeah, they might be from the Midwest, but but and then to say welcome to New York. I mean, or people taking selfies. A family of 5 taking a selfie. I'm like, give me your camera. This is ridiculous. Let me give you a good photo.
Thanks for the iPhone, right? Like, hey.
Welcome to New York.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So if you see Melissa out on the sidewalk and she says, let me take that picture for you, maybe think twice. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
You're joking. I got a whole locker full of cell phones.
Yeah. The P.O. box is like vibrating.
Right. Like Walter White.
Just walking around with a trench coat and just,
all right,
tuck one right in there. There we go.
Hilarious.
What advice would you give to others who are considering possibly themselves even looking into, being sober curious, or even considering a life without alcohol? So it doesn't always just have to be like, hey, this is why you shouldn't drink, but maybe people that are, I'm thinking about maybe cutting back or kind of reassessing my relationship with alcohol.
Definitely. I would say take a break. Take a break. Don't even think about cutting back. Like cutting back to me, that mental gymnastics of I'm only drinking Friday and Saturday. I'm going to drink water in between each drink. It takes up just as much space in your brain as drinking, honestly. So give yourself a break. That's why I love months like January, dry July. People are doing sober October, because you do get a really good idea about how amazing you can feel with I remember the first time I took a 3-week break. It was doctor mandated, ironically, because that's like part of my story, but 3 weeks over Labor Day weekend. And I thought, what? Doesn't she know I'm going to be at a bonfire and party this weekend? But I did it. And I felt so good after 3 weeks. And that was really the first time I really started to become sober curious, that if I feel good this good after 3 weeks, what could happen after a month, after 2 months? Yes. And just try it on for size. That's what I say.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. You are a wealth of adventures and opportunities and journeys, and I really appreciate that. I love this. This is really cool. I have to ask, what's next? What is the next thing on your list?
In general, in life?
Sure. Yeah. Professionally, personally, all of it, none of it, whatever.
Yeah. Well, professionally, Rachel and I just launched our Sober October New York City retreat yesterday. And
fantastic.
I don't know when you guys air these episodes, how quickly, but we, it's a small, intimate group of women, and, we're looking for 10 to 12 of them to come join us in October. That's just New York. We have really big plans for taking this other places.
Really cool.
I love the idea of going to cities where drinking is a thing and then not doing it. And not only not doing it, but just kicking ass not doing it. So I have my son lives in Charleston. Charleston's a great town. It's a big drinking town. I would love to take a group there. We talk about Sedona. I talk about Italy and Paris. Like I'm thinking really big. If you can go to Italy, have you guys ever been?
I have not.
Okay.
No.
I've had family that have gone. Yeah.
I've gone to Olive Garden. That like the same, right?
Does not count.
No. Oh.
No.
Shocker.
Especially in Wisconsin. No. God, I loved Olive Garden though. When I was poor,
so that's
those salads and breadsticks all day long. I used to take breadsticks home. Yeah.
We are never going to be sponsored by Olive Garden because I hate Olive Garden with every fiber of my being.
Awful. It's so bad.
And
it's so bad.
My entire family loves it. My entire family loves it.
God.
is just
well, don't take them to Italy.
Wretched.
Don't take them. Take yourself to Italy. Anyway, but if you can go to Italy and not imbibe,
Yeah.
that is pretty fucking badass. Let me just tell you, because I did it for my 25th anniversary with my husband. We went, and they were giving us, free champagne and prosecco everywhere we went, and we politely said no thanks. We're non-drinkers. What can you make for us at the bar? And ironically, we sat on a rooftop in Rome of this hotel, and this bartender had an NA gin that he busted out. It wasn't even on the menu yet, but we never would have known about it if we hadn't told him we were non-drinkers.
Wow.
And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. So we have big plans to do, these gatherings, these in-person retreats all over the place. That's my plan. Yeah. Well, and to continue to coach and really help people get out of their own way.
Melissa,
that is awesome.
We're definitely going to cross paths and work on some sort of collaboration at some point, because I can see the Zero Proof Pass, giving that to attendees of the retreats that are in cities that the pass exists, and having, working on some sort of thing. 'Cause that's my plan too. Like you said, if you can start a passport program, an NA passport program in a city like Milwaukee.
Oh, you can do it anywhere.
Right.
By the way, I just met sober Steph nurse. Steph.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Very
at
cool.
an event last week, and I was like, "You must know Patrick because you're a Milwaukee gal or Madison."
Yeah. That's really cool.
I mean, you're right. If you can do it in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin, you can do it anywhere. Absolutely. And I would love to have a retreat in Milwaukee. FYI, I think that would be a lot of fun. In the summer, probably.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Not the winter.
That's the time to come here. When I do see people out occasionally that are visiting in like January, I will first ask them, not like, how is it going? Why are you here now?
Are you lost?
Like, you have to come back in the summer. There's it's first of all, it's dark all day here, and two, like, you come back in the summer when there's something going on every weekend.
Yeah. Do you offer to take a picture of them too, Patrick?
I do my own selfie.
Yeah.
You remember the guy that? Yeah. So Melissa, if folks would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way possible? What are some avenues?
Probably through Instagram, the Sober New Yorker. Right. And, my website is also thesobernewyorker.com. And you can email me there too. And, I have, and my podcast, even if you leave a comment, I'll see it. And I always like to answer back all my comments, definitely. But reach out on Instagram, follow on Instagram. There's a lot of good stuff happening there. We didn't even talk about the dancing.
I know. We got to plug that.
There's dancing now?
Yes.
There's dancing.
I brought it up in the introduction and we didn't get to ask about
it.
But
one of the things that has opened up for me has been this dance class, this adult beginner dance class, although she's not even calling it beginner anymore because we've all grown so much taking it. And it's at this studio in Chinatown on Monday, Wednesday, some Saturday afternoons. And it is so fun. It is so fun. And I have some dance experience from years ago, but it has totally reignited in me, and, putting myself in the front row, getting over things like imposter syndrome, and kind of being like a leader in the class for my other dancers has been amazing. And, when you put yourself into these new circumstances, these new situations, and they don't know you as someone who drinks, it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. They all follow me. There's some that listen to my podcast. They, they see me living a big life, and it's helping them too. So follow along. There's some really fun ones. We're going to get you dancing, Patrick, when you come to me.
That's the bonus content we keep talking about.
Absolutely.
Patrick,
yeah.
film of you.
There aren't too many men that come, but when they do, they really, it's really amazing to see. Yeah. You couldn't pay my husband to go, but I'm there for him.
You heard it here first. Patrick is going to go to this class and do some dancing, right? That's what you said?
That's right.
Something like that.
I heard it. I heard it. These working? I hope so. No, that is awesome. Well, no, I'm glad we talked about the dancing. I didn't even know about the dancing. My God. See, there's too much to fit in such a small amount of space. So we're probably just going to have you back on some other time.
I mean, anytime. This is fun. I've had a blast with you guys. Like usually it's a sober podcast and it's like, oh, my story, which I'm not discrediting, but it is kind of nice to just laugh about stupid shit. And good shit.
And that's what I love about this podcast, because we don't take ourselves too seriously. We do, majority of the time, if we have a guest on, we might talk about something in the learning development space if that's where they're working. But having other guests on that we can tie into the adulting part, which is of the authenticity that we talked about before, and living your life the way you want it based on your decision to stop drinking. And so I was like, this is going to be a great tie-in to that. And I knew Steve that Steve would say, "Yep, let's go with it." And so it's been great to.
It's been amazing. Sure. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, the adulting bit of our podcast is carrying a lot of weight. Like we say we're learning and development, but then we talk about some seriously random stuff for probably longer than the actual topic itself.
It's always what's on your mind, and then it just goes downhill from there.
Oh, that's a very open question.
Yeah, and it's always week to week too. It's like, hey, so what's going on with you? It's like, so I got this message on LinkedIn. It's like, oh boy, strap in. Like, all right, we're going to talk about this. Crack your knuckles. Let's have this. But it's fun because, as Patrick said, we don't take ourselves too seriously. But when we are I would imagine the same with you. When you are trying to relay some real advice, you do take that part seriously. Yes, and you do represent yourself to be authentic, to be genuine, and as a caring individual. But not everything has to be so serious all the time. It's okay to go dancing in Chinatown, for crying out loud. Like, you can do that. What an awesome thing. That's so cool.
I mean, that's one of the best parts about it. And I have never really taken myself too seriously. So, of course, with clients, we do take it seriously, but
sure,
I love to have fun and I love to laugh. And, that hasn't changed since I've stopped drinking. You know what I mean? Except now I can remember what I was laughing about.
Yeah. Woo, fair enough. Yeah. I mean, valid point. Absolutely. Isn't that the truth?
Oh God. And I can remember those Packer games the next day, like, even when sometimes I don't want to. Oh boy, I haven't even touched on the Packers.
We're going to make it this year. You heard it here first,
make
folks.
What?
It.
You saw we're playing the Bears on Christmas Day, right?
Make it happen. Make it happen.
The Bears. God.
Hey,
almighty.
We don't need to kick them while they're down. It's fine.
I mean, listen, I'm still a fan. What are you going to do? But it rolls off much easier when I wasn't, I'm not like throwing back beers the whole game. And then, exactly.
Yeah.
So Patrick.
Yes.
Do you know who is always curious about their impact on two ugly guys with a podcast?
I do. Steve, it's a thing called the Spin-a-Rooski.
You are correct, good sir. So, Melissa, and for all of you fine folks listening, this is a kind of a reminder and review of what the Spin-a-Rooski is. Mr. Patrick here is going to fire up a wheel of names. And each episode we spin that wheel with the intent of hopefully landing on the woman who so generously shoved Mr. Patrick and I into what we refer to as the Ugly Club many, many, many years ago. That, my good friends, is the Spinnerooski. So if the stars align, we're going to hit the name, and eventually we're going to land on it. Mr. Patrick, did you get your gloves on? We're good. I don't want you getting splinters.
Yeah, big wooden wheel. I don't want to get splinters, so I am all set to go.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how it fits in your apartment. It's crazy.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, now what we do in order to make sure Mr. Patrick spins the wheel with enough oomph is we have to cheer him on. So Melissa, you have to say it with me. You have to say, spin that Rooski. Okay. I'm going to count us down from 3. Okay. So 3, 2, 1. Spin that Rooski.
Going around.
Whoa. I feel like my room is shaking.
How many names are on it?
A lot.
A lot. We landed on Grace.
Hail Mary, full of grace.
Is that it? Is that
we're
her?
not sure. We're not sure. We don't know.
Melissa, this was 22 years ago.
Okay.
So we're hoping that Grace
is listening.
Is the lady that was at a special bar in Pewaukee, Wisconsin called Boomers.
Pewaukee.
Yes.
God, don't you love those Wisconsin names?
Oh my gosh. It's, not as cool as Oconomowoc, but
or Kewaskum.
Yes.
They can't all be zingers. They can't all be zingers. Come on now. So yes, the idea is that Patrick and I were at this lovely place called Boomers.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
It was. And we were talking, Patrick and I were talking, and my friend, Patrick's now brother-in-law, was standing behind us, and this lovely woman appears, and she walks towards us. And Patrick and I, being in our young 20s, go, ooh.
Our jaws were...
Okay, maybe she's coming to talk to us. I don't know. Which one of us she going to talk to? And she does the whole prayer thing with her hands, pushes it in between us, and then splits us apart so she can walk between us to go talk to our friend. So ever since that day, she has lived rent-free in our heads. We don't know her name, but we've always wanted to thank her for giving us the Ugly Club, which was born that eve. So
she's about your age?
You know what? Sure.
I bet
she was at
Tiffany.
least 21 at the time. So
my guess is Tiffany.
Oh,
we haven't had a Tiffany
we
yet.
Have not.
So.
We have not. And I swear to you, if Tiffany pops up on the next Spinnerooski, there is a weird thing that happens with the Spinnerooski, Melissa, and that is like weird coincidences will happen. It's very bizarre.
I love that.
This week we need to honor Grace. So Grace, thank you so much for living rent-free in our heads. Thank you for giving us the Ugly Club, and we hope you have had a wonderful last 20-some years knowing what you gave us. That's just, what a delight. What a delight. An absolute treat.
Wait, what happened with your friend? Did he make out with her or anything?
No.
No.
It was kind of nothing.
He was dating my sister at the time, so he was not interested.
Okay.
Yep.
And unfortunately, she was also not interested in us.
This is a great story. I love it.
It was not only that we were physically pushed aside, but our egos were kicked about 4 counties over. Mm-hmm. So
I still haven't found mine. I think my ego is in the same place that your your CD player,
at the same bar, Melissa, my car was broken into on a separate night.
This is Boomers? Boomers?
Yeah, Boomers.
I bet you had some good brandy old fashions, eh?
They did for sure.
You got the brandy old fashioned.
See, that would
brandy
be
sweet.
That'd have been too high caliber.
You put the
I'm
maple
assuming
syrup in there. Yeah, the maple syrup in the brandy old fashions. That's what I used to do.
Oh, jeez.
Muddle it. In New York, they have no idea what an old fashioned is. Nothing. No idea. It's just ice cube and whiskey. It's not even brandy. but that's a whole other podcast.
That's
I worked in a bar years ago, and I said, "You're supposed to muddle it," and he looked at me like, "You muddle it," and he said, "If you want to do it, you muddle it."
That reminds me of the bit in Schitt's Creek where I do too, where David and O'Hara, they're
Moira,
Moira Rose, yes.
Oh, the cheese, fold in the cheese,
fold the cheese, fold in the cheese. You fold it in. So good. Oh my God. Anyway,
you guys, this was a blast. Thanks for having me. What a great way to close out a Thursday night. Nice.
Of course.
Well,
Steve, before we totally wrap things up here, let's do some shout outs. And I'm going to just go ahead off the bat, Steve. My shout out this week should come as no surprise, but it is in fact our guest, Melissa. Melissa, I want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us, especially on East Coast time. You know, Melissa and I first connected on Instagram about a year and a half ago. I kind of did a deep dive back when we first had our first conversation. The sober curious community is really amazing there, as Melissa mentioned before. And Melissa being a former cheesehead, our first
former. No, I'm not a former cheese.
Still a cheesehead.
Once a cheesehead, always a cheesehead.
Physical. Thank you. A physical space cheesehead. Our first few messages were about the green and gold. I look back and it was like,
I know they were.
No, they must have lost that game because Melissa was like, bummer, or whatever. It's like, oh no. Flashbacks to us losing in the playoffs. But flash forward to the 2025 holiday season, just 6 months ago, Melissa asked me to be a guest on her podcast. And that ultimately led us to where we are sitting here today. So we're very thankful that you were able to return the favor.
I love that. Thank you for having me. Super fun. You guys are a lot of fun.
No, I echo the same sentiment. It takes a special person to want to even associate with us. Your ratings are dropping as we speak. So I hope you understand the impact. Anybody that's a friend of Patrick's is a friend of mine. You are a delight to speak to. I really appreciate you taking the time and walking us through your adventures and your journeys. And I really just can't wait to hear more about them. So it's not an if, it's a when. You need to come back. So please, That would be wonderful.
Yeah, let me know. I'm down.
All right. Well, I suppose it's probably that time we should shut this business down. Now, this is the last thing we're going to ask of you, Melissa.
Wow.
So you had to do the spin, you had to do that. Now we have to test your singing prowess.
Oh.
So when we exit out,
yes,
we always sing Ugly Out. But it's never on cue or it's always just whatever music hits your fancy. Sometimes it's like the Beach Boys, and sometimes it's like techno, and sometimes there's like heavy metal toss, whatever. Maybe it's a country twang to your heart's desire. And we all do it at the same time. And
okay.
All right. So folks, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time. And until then, 3, 2, 1.
That was awesome.
That was so great.
You had no idea what you were getting in store with me tonight. I love that.
That was
that was our best. I think that was our best one yet.
Hands down. Hands down. I think that's it. That's a wrap. Well, I guess episode 36 is where Grossly Competent ends, because we're never going to tap that one. That was ridiculous.